To the latest on the coronavirus emergency. Overnight, the number of confirmed cases worldwide surpassed 19 million.
In the United States, there have been more than 4.8 million reported cases. The number of American lives lost to the virus has now surpassed 160,000. And new research from the University of Washington is now predicting nearly 300,000 deaths by December 1st.
Yeah, but perhaps a sliver of good news. The COVID Tracking Project is reporting that new cases are down by 10% and hospitalizations are down by 7% from last week.
That is some good news. Dr. Birx has now issued a warning for 9 major cities and California's Central Valley. And there are now over 541,000 cases in California, more than any other state in the country. Matt Gutman is there. He starts us off from Burbank. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, George. Those numbers are staggering. And just in L.A. County alone, there are now 200,000 cases. That's more than all but 3 or 4 states in the country. And that's why Providence, like Hospital St. Joseph, still have these overflow COVID units ready to go. But as you mentioned, the biggest concern in California is for that agricultural belt of the Central Valley. And in fact, rural areas across the country where COVID seems to be growing fastest.
As the death toll from the coronavirus here in the U.S. passes 160,000, concerns that the virus is spreading into rural communities. This morning, new research from the University of Washington predicting the death toll in the United States could reach nearly 300,000 by December 1st. Dr. Deborah Birx warning 9 cities plus California's Central Valley that their increase in test positivity could be an early sign of an imminent surge in cases. California now surpassing 10,000 deaths from COVID and reporting more cases than any other state in the country. And now Ohio Governor Mike DeWine confirming he is negative for the coronavirus. The governor first tested positive as part of a routine screening just before he was set to meet with President Trump.
Everyone who sees the president is tested. So I was tested. I went from there to the airport. And when I got to the airport, found out shortly thereafter that I had tested positive. So that was a big surprise.
In a statement overnight, DeWine says he and his family immediately went to Wexner Medical Center in Ohio to be tested again twice. Adding, the earlier positive test was taken with new technology called an antigen test, and that we don't have much experience with them here in Ohio, but are researching how the discrepancy between these two tests could have occurred. The apparent false positive adding to confusion about the country's testing capabilities, as President Trump is now suggesting that a vaccine could be ready by Election Day.
I'm optimistic that it'll be probably around that date. I believe we'll have the vaccine before the end of the year, certainly, but around that date, yes, I think so.
But Dr. Anthony Fauci thinks likely not. He's eyeing a target date of early 2021.
You might likely get an indication that you know if it works and if it's safe by the end of this calendar year. I might add that I'm cautiously optimistic, though you can never guarantee things with a vaccine.
And the emotional toll not getting any easier, not just for older Americans. This San Antonio father is now preparing to bury his 22-year-old daughter. The aspiring nurse battled COVID-19 for over a month. Both father and daughter had contracted the virus.
That boggles my mind that why am I still here and my daughter's not? You might think you're invincible, you might not get it. We thought the same thing, but we took care of ourselves. We took every precaution available.
An increasing number of young Americans battling the virus, some like 29-year-old Marzouk Chaudhry, were closer to death than to life.
She held my hand and she said, "Ron, if you can hear this, squeeze my hand." And I was holding your finger and I squeezed it while I was under. Nurses were telling me, "Wow, you're back. You're a miracle child."
Well, it could take months for that miracle child to fully rehab. Now, we mentioned those vaccines. There are now 140 vaccine candidates. 26 of them are in clinical trials. Now, you may wonder, well, is that overkill? No, it's not, because for the entire global population to be vaccinated, or 60% of it, multiple companies need to chip in because no single company has the capacity to vaccinate everyone. Now, we talked to the experts. They say that glut of vaccines won't be ready until the end of 2021.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here. to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.